And now, the general weather around Alaska.
Welcome, everyone, to Alaska Weather. I'm meteorologist Peter Chan, coming to you from the National Weather Service in Alaska region on this Sunday, June 29th, 2025. And in our weather-related headlines, it's been a wet day across the Panhandle and up and through areas of the Copper River Basin, extending westward through the Chugach Mountains and into the Talkeetnas. In some areas, we've had areas of rain or rain showers. And we got another round of some rain moving up into the Panhandle on Monday, especially southern sections of the Panhandle. There are a couple of minor flood advisories that are still in effect. Matanuska River along the Glen Highway, mile markers 13 to 15 east of Palmer due to some erosion along the riverbank there, even though the water levels are not that high. And then the Montana Creek area just outside of Juneau until 10 o'clock this evening. Couple of the roads around that area could see water as high as 6 inches over the low water crossing. So not by any means, no major flooding to worry about. And then we have a low pressure out in the Bering Sea and a front that's pushing into the southwest coast with some rain and wind for this Sunday evening and night, Monday lingering into Tuesday before things start to lift out Wednesday. And we're going to see a building ridge of high pressure and much warmer temperatures across the central and northern interior, especially the latter half of this week into the upcoming 4th of July weekend. There are going to be a number of temperatures rising into the 70s and 80s, so this will be a very warm stretch for the holiday weekend up there. New exit, mostly sunny, 73 degrees this Sunday afternoon. That's up there along the north slope, almost to the Beaufort Sea coast. Point Hope, though, on the other end of the equation there on the Chukchi Sea coastline, low stratus and fog, 47. Very common. This time of year, you get the warmer temperatures, the moisture out over the colder waters of either the Beaufort Sea, Chukchi Sea, or the Bering. And then False Pass out here toward the end of the Alaska Peninsula. Striated clouds, 62 degrees. There is a weather front that'll be pushing up along there as we head through tomorrow, bringing some showers and breezy conditions. And then in the Panhandle this Sunday afternoon, Wrangell, light rain and fog. Only 54 degrees, a cool one there across the Panhandle. So those two advisories I spoke of, they're small ones for some minor nuisance flooding there on the Matanuska River along the Old Glen Highway, mile marker 13 to 15. Mainly some erosional impact to a few properties there. And then Juneau, just outside of Juneau, Montana Creek running high, but that's expected to subside later this Sunday evening. And then we have fire weather update. So for Monday, rain and southerly winds along the west coast increase today with a slight impacts to the western interior. Biggest news is the warming and drying trend across the interior, especially central northern areas. We're going to see temperatures in the upper 70s, low 80s. It's going to be warmer than that. Some places are easily going to be mid 80s, no problem. And relative humidities falling to around 35% or so. So that's going to increase the fire danger. And fire activity will increase as conditions dry out and become more favorable. So this high pressure that's going to be over the northern half of the state, parked right up over the Brooks Range, North Slope, through the start of July. So that's going to bring light winds, very warm temperatures, and the potential for some isolated scattered thunderstorms in the interior this week into the upcoming weekend. So that's another thing that could initiate new fire starts. And the grass adjective, notice the drying taking place out here across areas of the west surrounding Kotzebue Sound, southwest slopes of the Brooks Range. Also down here, upper portion of the Kuskokwim Valley. Throw in the spruce adjective. This is the main carrier of fire now as we move into the middle of fire season. So central eastern interior, very high fire danger, especially lower middle Tanana Valley, as well as the upper Yukon Valley, including the Yukon Flats. And somebody asked me, Carl wanted to know, what's a thermal low or trough? Well, this feature you typically see in the desert southwest of the lower 48 in the summertime. You get temperatures into the hundreds and air's dry. You heat the surface, causes the pressure to drop, lower pressure. Above, the air is stable. You have a dome of high pressure. So Generally a dry atmosphere, but you develop this weak low pressure near the surface. So you see it on the surface analysis. You don't see it as you go higher up in the atmosphere typically. But that is of note because the pressure actually may go up. You'll have a ridge of high pressure aloft. But it's a very stable situation in the mid-levels. At the surface, if you have adequate moisture, a source of moisture, you could get thunderstorms. So we'll see this thermal low and trough situation pretty common across interior Alaska, northwest Canada during the summertime because we have such long length of day, and when we start getting those temperatures well into the 70s, 80s, and even around 90 degrees, that's when you're going to see that thermal trough really set up well. The other thing you have to worry about too if you're a pilot is low density or high density altitude. You have to increase the amount of runway to get the lift you need, especially when taking off. So we are going to see those warmer temperatures. That's something to consider in the week ahead and for the holiday weekend. But on the satellite imagery, we have low pressure here. We got another one here. There's another push of moisture coming up for Monday that'll get mainly the southern panhandle, Prince of Wales Island, Ketchikan, Metlakatla, maybe up to Sitka, Wrangell. Out to the west, we have an area of low pressure here and off the Kamchatka coast, and that's going to head just kind of between St. Lawrence and St. Matthew and then dive southeastward across the Alaska Peninsula Tuesday into early Wednesday. This is bringing in warmer air from southwest to northeast. So that crosses the cooler waters of the Bering Sea. That creates low cloudiness, some fog, as well as areas of rain. And there will be some breezy conditions, maybe to near gale force gust, but more likely small craft conditions. And then further north, we have a scattering of showers and thunderstorms showing up here across areas of the central, eastern, northern interior along the Brooks Range and into the Yukon here, Northwest Territories around the Mackenzie River. Tonight into early Monday morning, so we have this next low that's pulling northward. It's going to stay just off of the outer coast of the Panhandle, bringing some additional rain or rain showers to especially the southern Panhandle, starting Monday morning and continuing through the day. Here's kind of one of these thermal troughs, not that well defined. That feature will be much more well defined as we get later in the upcoming week as that upper level ridge builds over this part of the state. Here comes this front, has a little bit of a push to it, some breezy conditions and some areas of moderate rain pushing up into the YK deltas, Kuskokwim, Bristol Bays, as well as brushing the Aleutians and pushing up into the Alaska Peninsula, some areas of rain and rain showers. Monday afternoon, we have the low sitting off of the outer coastline there, the Panhandle, in the east, southeastern Gulf. And that's what's going to keep some additional rain showers going. Could be a scattering of showers, lingering areas of showers or some rain across the southern mainland, and then with the daytime heating there could be some additional thunderstorms or showers pop up across the central northern interior as well as back into the Yukon. And then down here, this front will weaken, but it's still breezy and pushing rain up along the west coast. Some of the rain could get as far north as the Seward Peninsula, Kotzebue Sound area. And in Tuesday, that low will start. By Tuesday afternoon and Tuesday night, that low will start taking a track southeastward. The energy will shift southeastward. And as that happens, we're going to see the upper level ridge. This is a surface map, so you're not really able to see the upper level ridge that's going to be building here over the northern half of the mainland. And there's the remnants of that low sitting just off of the Panhandle coast, keeping a few lingering showers going there Tuesday as well. And by Wednesday, still could be a few lingering showers across the Panhandle, but here comes that energy from that low, pulling out now into the North Pacific, well, southeast of the Alaska Peninsula and south of Kodiak Island. There's another kind of frontal system and low out there in through the western Bering. But in the meantime, we're going to see temperatures warm up in the north, and in fact, we're only getting into the early part of the week. The warmest temperatures will be coming here as we approach the 4th of July. So lows generally are going to be above freezing statewide. Kind of dreary at times with the lower cloudiness and lingering showers. Panhandle, still areas of south central. Lows anywhere from upper 40s, lower 50s. Could be some 30s along the Beaufort Sea coast. And then Monday afternoon should be able to get it back up around 80 at Fort Yukon. Some of these areas within the North Slope could see temperatures back up around or above 70. And down here across south central, highs generally in the 60s. 50s to low 60s in the Panhandle along the Bering Strait, 54 at Wales, 46 at Savunga, 49 at St. Paul, and then generally in the 50s across the Aleutian Chain and the Alaska Peninsula. Low temperatures stay above 50 at Fairbanks and Fort Yukon, 40s across much other place, 40s to around 50 for much of the interior, and then look for lows generally just above 50 in through the Panhandle and most areas of South Central. But here we start to see the heat showing up, and it will continue to build through the week. 81 or so at Tanana, Bettles, Fairbanks, 83 at Fort Yukon. And again, some 70s showing up. This heat's going to migrate westward, so you're going to see some much warmer temperatures surrounding Kotzebue Sound, especially the eastern Seward Peninsula, even extending down to the mid-lower portion of the Yukon Valley. So get ready for that once we get beyond Tuesday. That's all I have for you right now. But here's the extended temperature outlook just past the 4th of July, July 5th through the 9th, and it shows that warmer than normal temperatures will likely occur across a good section of the mainland, especially essentially the northern 2/3 or a bit more. Expect near normal temperatures along the Gulf Coast and southern Panhandle, partially due. We are going to continue to have some weather systems fling some clouds and areas of rain or rain showers, which will tend to keep temperatures down a bit at times. And that's reflected in the precipitation outlook for July 5th through the 9th. This is only showing a slight potential to be above normal just because there's going to be some scattered showers and thunderstorms that pop up with the daytime heating with the warmer temperatures. The slightly higher graduation here in the potential for above normal precipitation surrounding Cook Inlet, Kenai Peninsula, Kodiak Island, Alaska Peninsula is because of moisture that'll be along the Gulf Coast with some various lows. There's going to be some different lows that come up and want to hurl or pull back some moisture into areas of south central, southwest Alaska, and potentially even still into the Panhandle. But that's how things are shaping up here for the week ahead as we head toward the 4th of July holiday weekend.